hello, hello. Welcome everyone. Welcome back to yet another Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney stream. Can't believe this is the 10th stream of this game. Well, technically 10 and a half, because there was that one time that my internet decided to poop itself halfway through stream. But anyway, we are almost done. We are almost done the first game, so I'm very excited to get started. Last time oh my goodness, we did so many things. We got some video footage that we got to go through and figure out who was what and what's going on. We got to investigate the room where the second schmurder took place. We found out that the same guy was schmurdered twice in different spots at the same time. Ooh. And I think we're gonna be calling upon our good friend Officer Marshall something, the rough tootin' cowboy cop. But anyway, I hope you all have a beverage. I got my water right here. Grab a snack if you want, and without further ado, let's get. Oh yeah, we were halfway through the trial. Yeah, we're gonna start this. We're just gonna get it going, because I feel like this stream might be a long one. I want to see how much I can get through, because we are almost done. If I can make it to the because apparently, from what I've been told and what I understand, is the last final trial is a 3-part trial. So we'll see how far we get today, and I don't think I'll be able to finish the game as a whole, but it's fine. We'll figure it out. All right. February 24th, 12:14 p.m. Order in my court. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. I'm in the mood to do voices. They might not make sense, but I'll do my best. Ima didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Sir, no drinking in court. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never seen Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? Sir, put the knife away. You're in court. According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sand. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. The judge ain't having none of your wild, wild west talking. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time to hit the trail. I have no idea what that meant. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't... Marshall, you can't roast the judge like that. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well... Huh. What about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines. Or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Oh, thanks. Alright, well. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? Just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still. Even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who interred? Something. Interred. Guys, I can't read. I'm dumb. You interred them? Interred. Videos of nothing that aren't useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. Nothing unusual is recorded. Tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd erase a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't gonna do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room? Why didn't you do your job? You made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? You heard a word I said, partner. I told you that that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules get in his way. No desperados I know would join the police force. Sorry, for some reason, every time I stream this game, I gotta get like the first few yawns out before I gotta wake myself up to play this game for some reason. So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. Yawn, jeez, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, chat. Don't bully me about it. What is this? A bunch of courtroom talk? It is. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner. Can't say I do. Whew. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? How does he avoid being fired? 'Cause dang. Tell me more. You used to be a detective, so you're used to that evidence room so you've used that evidence room in the past, correct? Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner, I ain't good with machines. Couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's not a machine. That's quite, incredible. Sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Not many mentions it. Detective Gumshoe said something like that, too. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Yeah, let me just leave my job to go eat spaghetti. Aww. Whatever. Not even Angel's steak lunches can beat that parlor's Bongole sepia pasta. I'm Italian now. What do you mean to tell us? You abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Hey, at least it's not the... Oh, what was the name of the other place? The Wet Noodle? Something like that? You should have been eating there. That would have been fine. Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson. That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says... Don't you want to raise... Did you not want to raise this year? Just an innocent traveling man. Out of ammo. Officer Marshall? That's right, partner. Or as you'd call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you'd better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset. One thing Everything seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I'd best keep my cool. Before I use it, though, I'd better up the ante. What? Hold on. What? So, I know that I have his handprint. Oh, but I also got this. Trader, Joe Dark, serial murder, sentence, death. Oh! Neil Marshall. Prosecutor. Yeah, that's a trump card for sure. Executive investigators Damon Grant, Lana Skye. Head investigators Bruce Goodman. Investigators Jake Marshall, Angel Star. So... Okay, so... I feel like... Swipe rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. So I feel like I need to use the handprint. His handprint. Just don't know where. Print had been wiped. Major rounds on the day of the crime, right? And you heard a word I said, partner. I told you that I ain't my style. Just get in his way. How did his handprint get there if he was at a saloon? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I just wanted to double check. Because here he says I didn't step foot in the evidence room that day. There's a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner, can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. Alright, well if chat's saying I can use it, I should use it here, I'm gonna believe you. Oh, the music stopped. Cool. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? I can just imagine he's making like a, yeah, what of it kind of face. My back support. Oh my god. My back, it needs to be supported. Come here. There we go. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. Pay my respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month. Dude, you're supposed to... Oh, I broke the camera. Hello? Camera. Can you refocus on my face, please? Did it work? No. Camera. Can we not do this right now? I really don't. Yeah. Sometimes it works. I do this. I let it focus on my hand. And I let it focus on my face. Okay, fine. Be like that. Be like that, camera. Oh, now you fit. Technology. Love it. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Look at them boots. Those boots were made for walking. Witness, what's the meaning of this? The blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene. The blood was wiped away, however. The luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? I hate his face when he It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. Take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? About the blood-stained handprints? Very well, you may begin your testimony about your handprints. Found at the scene of the crime. Tell me about your fingies, sir. Your phalanges. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. The schmurderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Didn't you know the schmurderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. The schmurderer was not wearing gloves. Dummy. The witness's explanations appears valid. Although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Feel it in my boots. Alright, sir, let me crack open your secrets. Like I said, it's only natural for... We're just gonna press everything and see what we find. That's because you... How do you put it? Pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective, the locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. See, it'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from the locker for programming. Must have been using the fingerprint all this time without even knowing. And then just happened to be the same place. So then, what about the bloody handprint? Was a man, it's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened... Chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? Unrelated. They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's the type of schmurder. I love a little bit of schmurder with my breakfast cereal. My cinnamon toast crunch, if you will. He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a bloodstain at the scene, though thought to be left by the schmurderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean schmurderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical... That doesn't seem logical to me, but sure. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? This seal of blood. In the desert, it's just food for the buzzards. It's only one reality, and that's this. Security tape? So long as my trial isn't in there, Can't say otherwise. Aw, heck yeah! Welcome, Supreme! Heck yeah, I hope you're having a great day. I hope work wasn't too crazy on this seemingly warm Monday. It's a little damp outside, but I hope you had a great day regardless, and thanks for popping in. We're questioning Officer Jake Marshall? And we found a bloody handprint, so we're trying to use that. But for now, we have to figure out and get this man to talk like a normal person. Hurting my brain. The weather is fantastico. I'm excited for the warm weather to come back so we can go roller skating again. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime? Isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. That video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. Camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without getting caught on tape.
Objection!
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. Is there Hold on. I like that I can look at it first. No, there is. There totally is, because of... Okay, I think I know. I'm gonna guess this one, chat, and if I mess it up... Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. I think I know what it is. Now then, let's have another look at that video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall. I know exactly. We gotta wait for the whole thing to pan out. Dude walks in. Gets the thing. He walks in. Officer, whatever his name is. Okay. I think... Okay, he goes there. He's down. I think it's this. Because that wasn't there before. No, oh god, not I forgot about the Blue Badger theme. Bringing your attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. Days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out of it. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Anything but the Blue Badger theme, I'll take it. Oh, the white cloth. It's gone. What is the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. That rhymes. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. If it's your locker, no one else can open it, dude. Hold your horses. Sorry, partner. You got the wrong man. So what if my locker was open? It doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in. But you can't just open them. That's the Marshall. 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 It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? 'Cause you are! This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I'll call your bluff. You say I opened that locker? Now prove it. Do I use this? Oh. This. Take that! You can talk the talk all right, but you got a long ways to go before you can walk the walk. What? Rude. Mr. Wright, I think even I can prove this one. Sorry, Your Honor. That's Officer Marshall's locker, and only he can open it. I should know this. Come on, partner. Revolver only holds 5 bullets. The question is, how many you got left? Is it the fact that, like, is it this? Because I thought it would be this, because it says, found a bloody handprint on Marshall's own locker. Only the assigned detective's prints can unlock it. Indicator. Oh, this. Fingerprint sensor? We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detective they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Is he eating beef jerky? I only got 1 word for you, partner. No! Is he having a heart attack? Order in the court. Is he eating I'm also curious. Is it... I wouldn't... Yes. The answer is both. Witness, explain yourself. This is a joke. It looks like wood. It's wood, leather, and jerky all at the same time. If this is a joke, it's the worst one I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. I think it's leather. I think it's leather. Olay! What? Answer the question. What is he now, a bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure out the rest from here. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. Olay. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet, Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. Yeehaw, partner. If that's so, then where was the witness? Darn tootin'. Yeehaw. Lasso throwing. Octua. It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right, the only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the... I'm so... What? Victim. Schmiller. I feel like was he hiding behind one of the cameras? It said there was nowhere to hide in the evidence room. So where could he be? Was he... don't know. There's nowhere to hide it. But the camera doesn't fully show, so could he be like either here or here? Because technically the camera only panned this way, pointing towards this area. So he could have been hiding here. Was it Goodman in the evidence room? No, it wasn't. I know it was Marshall. Why is there a G in that room? What? What do you mean a G? There's like V and a K. There's no G in this room. Okay. I mean... this? Take that! Officer Marshall was standing right here. Sir, Officer Meekins didn't notice him standing there. It's almost as credible as Meekins' warp theory. I'm confused. Now they're ganging up on me. To be fair, I should think a little more about where Officer Marshall is. Oh, fair enough. Would it be... wait, I got it. I can fix this. And then I just take myself. Take myself and I go over here. Okay, and then I schmove the camera over here. And that way I'm a little bit more centered. Cool. Alright, is that better? Is that better, chat? So much more camera. I know, it's because my camera is longer than the stream overlay. My camera has more space than the stream overlay allows, so... And I don't really feel like trying to figure out how to mask it and stuff like that at this moment. So, anyway, alright, is this better? Is this better? Y'all can see? Cool. Cool. Officer Meekin should have seen him in the evidence room. That means the only place he could have been would be... Well then, let's hear it. Mr. Meekins. Okay. Goodman was standing here. Well, he walked into the room, went over here to the locker, and then camera pans, Officer Meekin comes in, they conflict. Is he the victim? I don't know who's the victim in this case anymore. It's so confusing. Because my answer would be like down here, because again, the camera couldn't see it. So was he hiding from the camera, or was he hiding, I think, inside the box? I am thinking inside the box. This is I'm in the box. No, it can't. It can't see everything, right, Uri? Okay, where is it then? Tell me. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. Just say it can. Who did Meekin see and where was he? Is he the victim in this case?
Take that!
Officer Marshall was standing right here. 1 + 1 = 2. What the heck is the other chatter talking about? There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. No. Correct, unless I guess if this is why I don't like this game sometimes. It hurts my brain. I believe the victim in the video was Officer Marshall. It was you dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the scene of the crime. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show me his cards, sir. Show me your cards. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. What? As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed it, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? Eat your leather jerky and get out of my face. Got quite an imagination, partner. You're sweating, sir. Sweating under the heat of the sun. It is a wild, yeah. This game's a little wild sometimes, but that's okay. We've got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. Can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Yeah. Guys, that's the second time he's roasted the beard. That's so rude. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. Stop drinking in court! Ah, this can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? Edgeworth, what are you thinking about? Oh, he gives me the finger wiggle. It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. Bah. I'll pass on to you what I told someone when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. Yeah, man, imagine a judge getting roasted in his own court. Couldn't be me. Basics? For me, it would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. Damn it! Damn it, Mia, whatever her name is, I don't care anymore. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. Rather, I should look for evidence that came about because of his disguise. Why would you think this locker was opened in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. I'll think inside your testimony. According to the defendant's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown— to hide the coat! He got blood on his coat! The fact that the white cloth was sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he He opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps the video is the key to all of our unanswered questions. Got it, gamers. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. I know exactly what it is. Go away, Marshall. Very well, let's take another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker and put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker. I know. Oh, God. Can I have... Is there a mute button, please? Anne walks in. Opens locker, glove falls out. Meekins comes in. Wait, go back. Aha! Take that! There was blood on it. You got blood on it. It's Officer Meekins' blood. The coat isn't in the closet yet. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman. Oh, don't say it like that. Don't. Meekins was leaking, okay? Like, we don't need to worry about that. And enter the evidence room, though I don't know what to end. To what end? Yet. Meekins. Yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked. And the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat. You couldn't just walk out like that. So you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. This finger gun. Got finger guns pointed towards me. Seppo, why would you do that? Why would you taint my chat with that message? How dare you? How dare you? Now then, Officer Marshall. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Zach underestimated y'all. Sorry, it was a terrible day for eyes. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, you were only half as persistent then as you are today. We all wouldn't have to be here now. Now would we? I wish I couldn't read. Me too. Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. Your secrets, tell me all of them. Alright, seems the time has come. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. Stole the detective's ID card and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. Managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on camera. There wasn't any schmurder in the evidence room at 5:15. It was just me. I was... Is he just confessing? Yeah, I have to poke holes in it still, though. So the supposed victim was really you? But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. No one was schmurdered. Then how could that be? Was it Meekins' hand just bleeding onto the floor? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. It's way too much blood for such a small donation. When you say it, you mean... You even have to ask, partner. SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since the case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? Hence the blood. Technically, not anymore because it's not fresh blood. We used some fancy spray to like pretty much like show us where blood had been, but it had been washed away. So no, we can't really test that blood specifically because it no longer exists. It's just there were traces of blood. When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time, no matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? Today was my last chance. That's why I... Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. Yeah, because when did this game originally come out? Like early 2000s? Was that technology actually like real? Or is this game set like even further than that? I mean, also the game itself doesn't map into reality very well, because the first couple trials it was like, well, he's the only one who wears the costume, and it's like, yes, but who was in the costume? Can you confirm nor deny who was in the costume? So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. Okay, this is entirely fictional. Cool. So that really was why Goodman started filling out a lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. Why? So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. Fingerprints have been used since the 18th century, and blood has been tracked since the late 90s. Okay. But yet they have fingerprint scanners. This game is strange. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Unless you burn off your fingerprints. As for the objections! Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. But he could because a rubber glove just happened to be stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. Wasn't expecting him. He pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off. Let's just say I was a little surprised, so I stabbed him. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person, mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. Sorry it had to turn out that way. Sorry. Sorry it had to turn out that way. Me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? Sir? I don't know what to say. So you knocked Officer Meekins out and managed to escape. I knew there were areas that wouldn't be caught on camera. You did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If it all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you blooded your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekin doing during this time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is, on that day... The blood found at the scene certainly indicates its crime took place. What are you, blind? He's a small man, he doesn't have much blood. The victim shown on the tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. Oh, you stole the evidence from the locker? Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. What? I ask you one thing. Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. You could be lying. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID card, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. You can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are even ever a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. Witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. I know why. I know why. But the game don't know why just yet. That case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted of his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved a sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out. There's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's why I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should press him with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is somehow related to that case. Better take another look at the files. I know exactly why. But just to be on the safe side. Yoink, yoink, yoink. Yeah. Neil Marshall. I have a feeling that's why. Jones. Rachel Moss. Alrighty. I think I know what it is. I do know why. Before I do, what? It's on the on the second page, right? Victims. Let's go, gamers. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. Oh, is it because he thinks I'm hallucinating? Haha. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name, Marshall, is mentioned in here. I said this at the beginning of the game. I think once I beat this game, it qualifies me to be a detective. So I'll go to court, and I'll be like, Your Honor, objection. And they'll be like, why? And I'll be like, because I think so. So I won't do. But I don't have a fancy badge that shows that I'm a detective. In the list of the Schmurder victims, Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah. I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago, you received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? You must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He's killed. The case fell into your hands. What's his relation to you? He was my brother. Wow, he took his hat off. He was investigating the Schmurder with Damon Gant, the then deputy of chief of police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it. You can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 incident could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Man needs socks on. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. Things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the schmurder at the prosecutor's office, this fake schmurder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's got to be more than that. So if no one was schmurdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the schmurder in the prosecutor's parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky.
Objection!
But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Objection!
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me, this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky. The testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. Objection! That's not a word. I rest my case. Seems its trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time. Just proving an alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. I didn't realize. End up proving Lana guilty. Now then, time for the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. What? Your Honor, wait. Ema. The defense has an objection, a scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright. You're this girl's guardian. Your Honor, in a sense, Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking for is a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. Oh, that's so generous of you. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dart killings. Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky Sisters were in that file. We do love Edgy Poo. At least he's a little bit somewhat regular, just normal. Yes. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found in Detective Gumshoe's locker? No fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So, I ran over there and looked at it again. So did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. I'm just an attorney. Mr. Wright, those traces of blood were the only clue we have. We can't find something wrong with them. Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? She's just a girl. I'm just a girl. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, any reasonable doubt remain? Appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. I am troubled by it. Looking at the floor plans, the handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. Still, I can't find anything wrong. There was one right frickin' there. What Lana will be. Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with the handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? Sure, yeah. I feel like objecting is the correct decision here. This handprint left at the scene of the crime clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yes, something that, when drawn, completely changed the meaning of the blood mark. Let's pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. All this evidence here, gotta be something I can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing on the floor plan? Technically, the man's wasn't... It was him. Take that! Because it was covering that locker the entire time, so we don't know when that handprint got there. What about that piece of plywood? Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well? What? Gasp! He figured it out. That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at the spot on the locker. Good. What? I didn't do that. What do you mean? that means, just exactly what does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces are undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me. I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Ima, how'd you work? On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? If he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that means this blood mark was left before the Blue Badger was brought in? Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once but twice, maybe thrice. But how? One time was captured on this tape taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time, someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really schmurdered. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. Schmurder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, it does not explain the bloody mark found in the locker. It's not far-fetched, Judge. Your Honor, I call cap. So then, assuming this schmurder you purport really happened, when did it take place? Demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? Bonk. To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right, the blood marked on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us, when did this first incident occur, as Mr. Edgeworth said? Proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the schmurder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Will I present... Still never determined who this 77777. You know what? We'll take the bots. Welcome in. What evidence am I supposed to use? It shows when the first crime took place. Be gone, bot! Oh. Oh, probably this. I'm gonna... This is the proof. It's quite simple, you see. If it's so simple, then don't get it wrong. Huh? Oh no, that was the wrong one. First crime took place before the Blue Badger was brought into the room, right? Say, when was the Blue Badger brought there anyway? Don't we have a chart listing a bunch of times or something? Oh. Okay. That's kind of silly. Okay. Crime took place inside the evidence room, and the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card. Oh! The ID card report. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at... Let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Miles Edgeworth! Just what have you done? Never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out. Thank you. A piece in a bit? Understandable. Yeah, we got banana bread. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. How's this guy allowed to be a judge? You don't know shit. It's clear from the luminal test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real schmurderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to schmurder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. I mean, half an hour to do that. Whoever the 7777777 that would mean. The crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. It's 420. 420 blaze it. Talk about a lucky number. Oh wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real schmurderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 77777. I think it was it. I don't think I said enough sevens, but that's okay. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Found out whose ID number this is. Yep. It's 17 too many. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who's a so-called executive officer. I know who killed him. I know who did it. I have a feeling like I know who did it. We don't have the authority to inquire such a person's identity. Court order. But that's ridiculous. Just how... I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. Official charge? Yeah, judge, court order. You're all alike, aren't you? Your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. Just want to eat this banana bread. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana? For this piece, I'm just gonna use my hand. Don't be stupid. She's being charged with murder. Of course we'd have looked up her ID number. And it's not 7777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing, about that incident. The SL9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Oh, hi. Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for the trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt powerless of the law. powerlessness of the law. At least I did. Lana, I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. Before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence. Dang. That's crazy. See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No! Oh. I have to wait until the following day. Dang. That's crazy, yo. I mean, if you gotta do what you gotta do, then... Alright, I guess we're doing some investigating today. February 24th, 3:12 p.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. It's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Like, everyone's heard about these killings but me. Lana wanted Drake convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean, what happened to you? It's all in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. What did you have to do with those killings, Ema? On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. What? Tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. So that means you... Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. See that one coming. It literally said in the file. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day. Unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. And suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. Seems like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage. Before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then... What happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. I don't remember the moment when Drake stabbed Mr. Marshall. You weren't able to testify about that? No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. Must be why Lana. Why she made up the crime. Made it up? I mean, provided bogus evidence? prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. Couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean, it's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Ima. I have chocolate all over my hands now. It's fine. Actually, let me go grab a napkin. So what did you see the instant the crime occurred? Drake knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. Don't remember what happened after. Apparently I passed out. Damn, she looked the same 2 years ago. Same outfit and everything. This girl never changes her clothes. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Ima. You've been through so much. Couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago. You must have been 14. That's understandable. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies. And if the evidence to make up an airtight case... That way, Lana would never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Ima tick. There's still something that bothers me about that crime. There's something that's puzzling me, Ima. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at the time, right? That's right. And why would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor. Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. You tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. Why did you run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective offices and the questioning room are right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Interesting. Right, Lana? Spill the tea. I feel like I know who did the real schmurdering, but that's fine. We'll figure it out. With evidence. Alright. Hi, Lana. Lana! Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Ema told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago? And how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about the unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was... In fact, this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. Couldn't be helped, Ema. At the trial 2 years ago, I found my soul. I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15 there was no schmurder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana, what the witness, Miss Starr, said. That's a face. What about you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife? Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Ema, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before. It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Chief Gant. He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could use that experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution. I'm going to say revolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Grant, right? Yes, Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. Even had the same office. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final schmurder took place. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. Damon Grant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down and then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to run to the scene. Lana? You're so. I was filing some papers when Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. Dang. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Ema, who had passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seemed Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Ema, carried her out of the room, and just held her. I can't blame her after all her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. We were all involved in the SL9 incident? That's right. Quite a coincidence. I don't buy it. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to the extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. Guess he wasn't convinced that with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Ema was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon, Gant, and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself. The chief's office. We should have a look at that chief's office. Side of the file. Let's see. I feel like Phoenix Wright's starting to pick up what I'm putting down. I don't see Detective Gumshoe anywhere. Things seem kind of quiet around here today. Right. Chief of Detectives seem the same, though. Why don't we go look for some other people to talk to? Oh well. Here? Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall. I never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not even gonna try. You never know where life will lead you, hey Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little... It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why would prosecutors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either, all the detectives thought so. What do you mean, fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the Schmurder weapon. Schmurder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, all right. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim had sustained. What does that mean? It means there was a good chance that knife was not the Schmurder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that probably had been erased. But the facts have been concealed with forged evidence. That case left behind scars on all of us. Scars that the SL9 incident left behind. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. And your last. How old was he, your brother? was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the King of Prosecutors Award? I knew it! What are you looking at me like that for? It's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right, it was the day of the evidence transferal. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, so by nightfall there was thunder. Can't believe 2 years have gone by already. Tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. Who could it be? I wonder. Something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in the investigation save one, was taken care of. Star was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? They did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Investigation lead, Damon Gant, and his second in command, Lana Skye. Forgot how thick this man is. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both their careers. After the case ended, Lana was transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. Never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Ina said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret all started 2 years ago. So there you have it. The story. Did you enjoy it, partner? Certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. Boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. Someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Believe me? Well, I don't blame ya. I wouldn't even be a patrolman. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Chugging that thing. Too bad I won't be around to work with you. You become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. He rides off into the sunset. Dang, it's quiet here. Alright. This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. Must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Rides off on a unicycle? You think his trusty steed is a unicycle? He said he didn't know how bikes worked, so I would... Fair enough. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Oh, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision... With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media in tomorrow's trial, there's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Just like just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right, you can't go in there, it's off limits! Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. Hey, you can't go there! Stop me. Whoa. This is a fancy... Why is there an organ in here? Like, who just has that in their office? Of course it comes with its own music. Oh, where am I? Me too. Is this where... Yeah, exactly. Putting organs in the chief of police's office. The chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? I don't know, because I don't get to play the fancy organ. I don't... Do I know how to play an organ? Maybe. Anyway. Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. He used to call me Little Miss Bach. No, not those kinds of organs. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me. I never could remember where C was. Hmm? Ah! We summoned him! Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant. Put that paper he was reading in his desk. So, Righto, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct. And Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement. Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? Oh, that's a familiar looking vase. This is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil. We took it to commemorate our work together. Also, why is there a suit of armor? Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. Is it the suit of armor standing next to Lana? Hello, sir. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm gonna lock up here, so let's go out together. Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. I don't know, Chief Grant. That's a little sus. Little sussy baka. It's like we aren't welcome. It seems that case isn't over with yet, after all. He's not ganting me. I mean, you're not wrong, but it hurts my brain all the same. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. It means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around. You mean, like, a clue? There's got to be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Here? Oh. Okay, I know where to go then. Not there. Oh wait. Here. I need to schmooze. Yeah. No one's here today, not even Miss Star. Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are. No one was murdered in the evidence room. I think we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hiya, phone. Let's see if it works. My ears! No, my ears, please. where we found the note. SL9 incident. Case that was due for transferal the day of the murder. Never knew the SL9 incident referred to Joe Dark killing. Everyone in this case played some part in that incident. Oil drum. Pick it over myself. Hiya! That's okay, don't cry. Lana Sky must be one strong woman. Did we get all of the sprays? Oh! Blood must be from when Lana... No, my sister isn't even the murderer. She did call you, didn't she? At the time of the crime? Right-handed bandage. Hey, just whose side are you on? This has nothing to do with taking sides. I love that I can hear the... This means that Lana has some blood on it. It just keeps getting worse. It's blood, it's my sister's, right? It appears so. Lana's hand bandaged when I saw her in jail. She must have cut herself. Let me spray all over Edgeworth's car. Watch your balls. I want to use this. I want to test the fingerprints on the phone. But I guess not. I guess I'm not allowed. Then let's... Let's move up here then, shall we? Mr. Edgeworth isn't here. Where'd you go? Maybe he's being questioned by the inquiry committee? Took a real beating in court today. Yeah, with Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago. I guess she'll just have to come back. Oh, there's no blood here. Okay, so... He won such a prestigious award, why would he just leave it on the couch? Yeah, you'd think he'd want to show this thing off more than that giant steel samurai. Okay, I should write this down, tell me what it was like as a kid. We've heard all this before. You know the path I've walked, no one else needs to tell me. Oh. So it's a sword and a shield? Here it's just a shield. To be honest, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to examine here. As red as a sports car can get. It's pretty red already. The body is found in Edgeworth's trunk. The question is, why did Sky choose this car? What model car is it? I think it was called a sedan or a coupe or something like that. Yeah, I got the team picture. The one with Gant, Marshall, and Talk to Gumshoe? No, he's busy. I couldn't talk to him. Maybe I'll go see if I can find him. Oh. Oh. I can't? Oh, here. I hate that you can only go to certain places from certain places. Just let me fast travel at everything. Hey, pal. Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? Just taking a breather. My feet hurt. Your dogs are barking from sitting so long. Actually, I'm serving everyone coffee. Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court. Sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. I falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Thanks. You're telling me. Why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Honest Guy is the guilty party here, isn't she? Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor's... His amazing talent as a prosecutor's kept him safe from those who... I don't think they're supposed to... Should be his amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who don't like him. Now with this, are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know for making enemies. Hey, Dick, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat. Yes, sir. You gotta take me back to that joint sometimes, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. Seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Under pressure. The coffee was brewed. Seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Genuine words. Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack, you mean? When he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl. Detective Gumshoe never realized Ema was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Oh, let's see. I think it had something to do with the Schmurder weapon. Oh, I forget. Like, it's all written down in here. Okay? His powers of recollection never fail to impress. Maybe we should show him the Schmurder weapon. It might jog his memory. Oh, hold on a second. Doesn't say anything about the data. I mean, I guess if it was removed, then... Alright. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. Businessman? What made him take to serial killing? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. His car? So, it was an accident? An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal. An animal? He killed a man that witnessed the accident, then he killed a lady who saw the second time. He just walked by then, so he killed him too. And he was... But Jogger came up onto the scene and was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjuncture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence, so he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim, Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Drake was arrested on the spot. Dark. Keep calling him Drake. My powers of dyslexia never cease to amaze what words my brain will say. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. Last witness. AKA Ema. Alright, I'm supposed to show you the Schmurder weapon. About this. Hey, is that? It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken Schmurder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, it suddenly disappeared from the locker. It was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it! Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. You showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again. This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. Traced it back to the store he bought it at, plus it had his fingerprints on it. No one actually witnessed him using it to murder anybody, right? That's where his luck ran out. If you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's been broken. I have to take a good look to notice that. Well, anyway. Take a guess where the broken tip of the knife was found. Oh, I can hit enter. That's what did him in. Where was it? Victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside of his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet, down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Ooh. 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 Victim's body. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. Yike. Yeah, one shot KO'd. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. It's not money, but it does concern the Chief. His office is a crime scene, right? That's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. Chief's out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. What? Really? But if I let a civilian in there, be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. But this ID card, it was Detective Goodman's. That wouldn't work either. The data was deleted the day he died. Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office. Give him $50. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would change his mind. Do I have something that could change his mind? Let me share a little advice with you as a detective. If you don't have a clue, keep your trap shut. About that jar. I think I've seen it before somewhere. Somewhere? Maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives. This must be the most uninformative detective I've met. Think about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the Chief's office and he's yelling at me. Chief Gant. Where could I have seen that before? I know! Rumble. Okay, fine. It seems like I can't talk to Detective... Am I missing something? I don't really know what I can show him did show him the Schmurder weapon. I showed him the Schmurder weapon and the vase. And he's like, I feel like I've seen that somewhere. And I'm just like, look at the photo. I talked as much as I could to Detective Gumshoe. So, yes, I guess? Yeah, he killed a bunch of people. He was an animal. Cool, go to the... easy. Edgeworth, are you in your office yet? I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. There he is. Looks like he's writing something. Hi, Edgy Poo. What are you doing here? Sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Edgeworth. What was the paper? Tough day in court, huh? Had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. It's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So, what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. Sir, the chill pill, you need to take it. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I do can erase that fact. You didn't know, did you? I mean, that evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, my responsibility as a prosecutor in charge. The fact remains same no matter what excuse I might have. Mr. Edgeworth. Take pride in my work. Tell me why. Tell me why. Why has it come to this? Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First, last year's trial, now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. Rude. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow's the last day. It's too late to change prosecutions. Prosecutions? Prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence, it seems too short. More lists run twice as long. Most lists run twice as long. Only half as long as post lists? That's odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. Picture, something seems strange about it. Can you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? I never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this? Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. Finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends. Clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah, Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. You came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to? That's That's right. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall, he had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes. The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. A little different than yours. Yes, you're right. Ah, I remember now. Remember what? That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. Aye. There's a story behind its design. Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means a halberd and the second means shield. Have you heard this story? Me? Oh, sure, everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though? For Ima's sake. Very well. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed would slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. Those claims contradict each other. Very perceptive, but then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless, and thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize? Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. Ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion. Even if it results in something as ugly as this. Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today. That's funny. That's so, then why were you only given a shield? I'll have to ask Chief Gant. A few years ago he had the halberd part of the reward abolished. Oh, I want to present this to you. How do you feel about this? You don't gotta look at me. Right, please. I'm the prosecutor on this case. You don't expect me to sit here and discuss the case with you over a cup of tea. Cool. You're just showing the best evidence. Get some action out of it. Do I actually show him anything else, or is that just the reaction? Oh, okay, I do. Okay. I have a picture of something important. I already showed him this. Okay. It's gonna spam. It's gonna spam. We did this. We did this already. Oh. I have a picture of something important, is what chat is telling me. Oh. Yeah, I do want to. I wonder what he was writing. Come on, Mr. Wright. Let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there. Just distract him. I'll check it out. Hey, Edgeworth. Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground. Hold on, first let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet. Didn't even look. What? Letter of You're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, Wright. I feel as if something inside me has died. My kidneys. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. No one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. Letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything. Yoink! Mine now. You can't resign because I have your letter. Hey, chessboard. Edges surrounding a pond with spiky hair. That's not... Alright, well... I guess... I can leave now. Okay. Are you sure? Are you sure? Oh. Excuse me. Ah, hello. What lunchbox have you... What is this? Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? Miss Star, I guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's... Angel, come on. I still never thought you'd go digging up a case from 2 years ago. Everyone in this trial was involved in the S9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence was taken from that case. Due for transferal, this can't all be attributed to a mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know, a little scene I happened to witness. Instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. It stars hatred toward her. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Thank you. Thank you, Brem boy. Joe Dark. That's a name I'll soon not forget. Again, I like how her outfit is literally the same, except for the fact that she has a little onigiri hat and a little octopus choker. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though, must have been tough going through hell. Oh. Words. Must have been going through hell. I mean, because of his brother's death. They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye. My sister? Best of the best were put on the SL9 case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gant. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of the evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear while other items were kept secret. We don't have proof anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. And Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used. Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation with Lana second in command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was most unreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Incredible evidence, you mean? Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared to confront him now. She's talking about forged evidence. Back then everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. Hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. Jake's brother was murdered. She felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would ever have recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Starr. That's why. I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief. That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control. Then no one can stand in his way. Prosecutor's office. What? You mean, that's why Lana was transferred? He could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude. There must have been a reason for her change. Last. Finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Starr. You listen to me, Ricky. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. I don't have anything else to tell you. Miss Starr. The only thing that I can give you now is a poppy seed rice set. Eat this and maybe you'll be able to tell black from white in court tomorrow. Okay. Aha! It's like if it... Oh, you're back. You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. Turning into a regular DJ. You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Writes it down. Oh, that DJ. I'd admire your persistency, but it makes my answers... But my answer's still no. Not letting you into the chief's office, period. Be my neck on the line. The office is the last crime scene of the SL9 incident. I have to take a look at that. Gotta be something we can do to make the detective change his mind. What's this crumpled up piece of paper? Edgeworth can't be serious. Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they'd push him this far. Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice, too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. We betrayed him. Detective Gumshoe is in love with Edgeworth. That's my theory. Detective. That's it. I've made up my mind. But... Here, take my ID card. I can't do that if someone found out. They wouldn't let you off the hook with just another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? So at least let me do this. For Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Alright, detective. Thank you. Tucked swiftly into pocket. Let me go back into this room. Here goes Mr. Wright. Click. Beep. We're in. If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe's a goner. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Eek! Gah! Did she hit him? Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Ah! Detective Gumshoe. What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I just worried something might go wrong. So I came too. Since you're here, then what's the point of giving us your ID card? Gumshoe's ID crushed and rendered unusable in pocket. Hey, don't do that to my card. I hardly ever get the chance to come in here. I figured I'd look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. You really do want to get fired, don't you? If we're lucky. Come on, let's see what we can find out. Not a bad feeling, though. This is safe, isn't it? Safe. That word is ripe with intrigue. Okay, if you say so. Looks like a code needs to be entered into the panel to open it. So. You know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know. You want to try my birth date? It's... I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. Did I get it? Let's go! Bingo! What number did you enter? Whose birthday was it, pal? 777777777. What? The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day. You mean... that ID number? I'm not saying all the sevens. I think you're 1 7 shy this time. This can only mean one thing. This is when this took... Yeah. It's Detective... This Chief Grant's ID number. Say, anyone care to look inside? I want to look inside. Let me look. Let me look. Is there anybody in there? How much does he have stashed away? Look, it's... I'm gonna take that, yoink. A shard from a broken cup? Somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? Something else in here, too. What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth. There's a handprint on it. This is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. Think Chief made up that design? I don't think so. Oh, well, it was just a thought. Is that it? Is that all that was in the safe? Apparently so. It's empty now. Piece of cloth with a handprint on it and a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. Come on, there's gotta be something we can show the detective. Oh, easy. Easy. Give me this. Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar? I remember when the three of us put it back together. Ah, those were the days. Kind of ready to be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case? That's right, one of the shards had the SL9 incident sticker on it. Doesn't this ring any bells? You know, that fragment we just found? You mean the one that was in the safe? Yes, that one! That's what was in the safe! Put it together! Get the hot glue, quick! Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits. If it fits, I sits. Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do. Mr. Wright, here's some glue. Piece this together again. We'll prove Chief can't know it. Hide stuff. Here it goes. Combine. Done. There, it fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gant was willingly and knowingly hiding a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident. But, hey guys, get a load of this. What is it? This piece you just attached. It's different from the others. There's a reddish line on it. Reddish line. That's blood! I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe? Can I ask you something? Sure. We came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9 crime scenes. I mean, that's the only reason for coming here, isn't it? You ask. You don't think. Nah. You wouldn't be. No. No, there's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Okay. Hey, hold on. Not so fast, bud. Huh? What is it? When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. Don't just let it go like that. Sorry. This guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you? You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you? What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do you think of him? Chief Gant. So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings yet. Here you go, ignoring me again. This is the real deal, isn't it? This armor and these weapons. Sure is, pal. Chief don't care for imitations. First the pipe organ, now this armor. You know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room? What? You mean we're paying for this? That's it, I'm not paying one cent of my taxes. I don't have any taxes to pay. Shh, careful what you say. Who knows, the Chief may be hiding in this armor as we speak. I don't think he'd fit in there. Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out. Cut it out, you guys don't know how scary that guy can be. Yeah, look at the size of the Chief Gant's desk. Speaking of that, when we were here earlier... Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant. That paper he was hiding. He's reading at his desk. Open it. Open it! This looks like a list of evidence. List of evidence? In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though. Hey, look at the case name. Huh? SL9 incident. I wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, detective. What did you just say? Said, I wonder what... No, about the evidence lists. Normally they're twice as long. That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. A half-size list of evidence. This list of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. The other half of the must be doing it. I knew it. The chief must be hiding something about the case. It would appear so. Ripped in half, so this part is all we've got. Checked out that. Let me check out this organ. Chief's organ sure is a sight to behold. Occasionally we hear him playing it from the Criminal Affairs Department. On the second floor, and this is the 15th floor of an entirely different building. The detective screws up, the chief calls him to his office. It makes him listen to the organ for hours. What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul. After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except the ringing in their ears. So it's an instrument of punishment, literally. Are the chief's ears affected? He never listens to anyone anyway. Besides the point. Shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleared them out when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left side. Hey! This is when Lana and I went to the theme park. This is Lana's desk, so it sure is tidy. Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner. There's not even any dust on it. Looks like someone's still keeping it clean. Has Lana ever come back here? No. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in memory of their partnership. They were the stuff legends are made of. Does he keep it in memory of her, or in memory of the crime? It was taken on the day 2 years ago. The day Joe Dark went out of the questioning room and tried to keep They're receiving his award trophy. Mr. Marshall took a picture here. Along with Chief Gant. I bet he never knew. He'd be dead just a few hours later. Gee, you think? Okay. That giant window. Makes you want to crash through it and jump outside. This is the 15th. I know, I was just saying. Saying what? Ever since making Detective, I've always dreamed about doing something like that. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. As long as he doesn't go crashing through the window when he gets fired. Don't say that. Is that everything? You seem pretty far from 15 stories up. If you're to drop that suit of armor from here... At first, Chief wanted to use stained glass for this window. Really? Why didn't he? He said he changed his mind because he wouldn't be able to see the view. No. Stained glass or not, it's a huge window. Okay. I think that's it. So, desk on the other side of the room. Is that your sister's? Yes, that's where I was waiting the day to. Anyone using it now? No, sure. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. It's a strange reason to leave it there. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. Ever since Lana left, no one has ever touches that desk. No one except Chief Gant. And the cleaning lady who's in here each morning. Still, 2 years have passed since then. Yeah, possibly. Clues for me. Cool. Is that it? Oh, okay, I can't actually read it. Well, really quickly. Is there anything on the back? What? I wonder what this is. It looks like someone drew some kind of sketch here. What is it? Did you find something? I can't make it out. I better keep quiet about it for now. Huh? Oh, no, it's nothing. Why are your eyes moving like that, Mr. Wright? Better not forget about this picture. Interesting. that it? Is there any... Am I missing any? Yes. That's what the chief was reading before, isn't it? You know, when we first came in here? Yeah, it looks like the right side of the form's been torn off. Mr. Edgeworth's list really was only half of the whole thing. Nothing else is bugging me more than that. Take a look at the back of that form, pal. Back? I did! Oh, I did it in the wrong order. Okay. Did I find that? Yes, I did. Actually, now that you mention it. Oh, but I have to prove to him that it was part of... No, I haven't fingerprinted it yet because I don't actually have it. I have to prove to Gumshoe that it's connected to something. Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to have a look at this. Hey, I know what that is. So, you want to take some fingerprints? That's a great idea, Detective. Alright, go to town, sheesh. What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that? Go ahead, take my fingerprints. It's not your fingerprints we want to take. Huh? Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. We're talking about that cloth we found in the safe. Oh, I knew that. The one with the handprint on it, right? Sheesh, where's your sense of humor? Alright, let me dust it up. What are you, my mom? Gave it my best shot. Kind of result won't be any good for matching points, will it? Doesn't look like we'll get a clearer result from this one. Okay, let's try a different thingy then. This one. Alrighty. Well, it's not his. It's not his. E. Oh wait, no. Match found. Oh, I done goofed. Whose fingerprint was it? Okay. Ima, why is your fingerprint? Why is there a cloth with your fingerprint on it? Ima? Sad face. No. How can this be? What are Ima's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints were they? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's prints. Psst, you, over here. What's going on here? What are a kid's prints doing inside the chief's safe? Ask me. Just keep this information from Ima for now. Here, maybe you should hold on to this. Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Now that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Hi, Chief Gant. Hi. Isn't that right? You in the coat. Chief Gant. You didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I am a man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then I thought of a certain detective. You mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. Sir. Now get out! Yes, sir. Sorry, Detective Gumshoe. We'll be on our way too then. Wait. You. The one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet. Me, sir? I'd like a word with you. But sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet. You with the spiky hair, you're free to go. Mr. Wright. Look, pal, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. Chief's office is off limits. No, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? Thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it. Now that I've seen evidence, the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. Why was she kept eerily silent about it all this time? Anyway, you listening to me? I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the Chief again. Later, pal. Pew. After that, I heard from Ema. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions. She'll be busy for the rest of the day. Let's see, so the Chief asked Ema to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. I've already told you all I can. You've told me over these past couple of days. Absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words. Mia did a good job mentoring. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right. My boy? Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe. Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. It insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say? Do you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. What? If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom may I ask this person you're speaking of? The one I'm supposedly so frightened of. Take that! Well, Miss Sky. Don't you turn away from me! Mr. Wright, you were addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place. I think she's still not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? You were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was me. I had access because I was second in command of the investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence. How about I show you? How about I show you this? Take that! I just found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece, this piece of cloth, and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence. That's not the one that I had pressed, but sure. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmised. I cannot disobey the chief's orders. Even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate in the murder of Detective Goodman. Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. This guy standing here like, what did she say? Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct? I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. Trunk's lock was broken. I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. Murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in there. What? It was the wrong knife! Couldn't believe that knife in him. So I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edgeworth's knife. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that is the reason for the bandage on your right hand? Yes, it seems I got blood on the victim's shoe as well. Then saw me just as I plunged the knife in. Star, huh? Why did you need to hide Dark's knives so badly? Ooh, I knew it. I knew it. Took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible. So, you hid Dark's knife, the weapon used to stab Detective Goodman. The detective was evidence in the Joe Dart case. Word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So I wrapped the knife in, so you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it. In Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right, then I called my sister. Tell her what happened and ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. Last email? Didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Ema was so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling. Truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, first thing I did was make a phone call. Phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. To Marshall? Why on earth would you call him? Lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. was the only other person I could trust. At least, I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seemed that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean... Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. Disguised himself. Okay. He had already stolen the ID card. It seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room? Lady, stop turning away from me! I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But Lana, earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial. There's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. We've got to get to the bottom of everything! Detective Goodman's real schmurderer. What went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. Oh my gosh, that was... I had a feeling that it was Chief Gant who orchestrated everything. And I'm curious to see how this will play out tomorrow, because it seems... Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of calling it here, and then that way I can do the trial in one go. Hopefully. But yeah, so... Poor Detective Gumshoe, he was just like, I'm just here. I'm just trying to do what I need to do in order to do the things I need to do, but I might get fired for it. So... And poor Edgeworth, he's like, man, throwing in the towel on this one. Like, jeez. Gotta love Gummy, poor guy. I know, I feel sorry for Gummy. But, yeah, so, wow, that was a lot. Well, now we know who really killed Detective Goodman, because it was definitely Chief Gant. The question is where? I need you to hide the body with his Gantling. Nah, he just did the, gave him a good 1-2, stab, you know? Probably just even like a single stab. He Gant. And I've had enough of your Gant puns, chat. But yeah, or did he got Gant? Anyway, thank you so very much everyone for joining me today on yet another Ace Attorney stream. And I think, yeah, the next one will be the final one. I'm willing to make that stream a little bit longer just to finish it. So it'll either be Wednesday or Thursday. If my schedule lines up the way that I think it does. But we shall see. But yeah, until next time, gamers, no, it'll be shorter than today. Very soon. Fair enough. Well, we will see how long it takes us when we get there. Because don't forget, chat, I am the big dumb, and sometimes my brain doesn't work, especially after working 8 to 9 hour day. So, anyway, we're gonna end it here. I hope you have a... No, chat, don't say that. I love the help that you give me, chat. Don't do this to me. No, I don't Gant it. I don't Gant it at all. I don't want to Gant it. But yeah, so... Stop. I'm going to bed, chat. I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, or night, wherever you are. And I'll see you folks in the next stream. Peace and chicken grease.